It's the Phoenix, Arizona weather discussion. This is for Friday, the 25th of April. I'm Michael Groff. We wrap up the week with temperatures just a little bit above seasonal averages. A weather system passing across the region over the weekend will bring about breezy to windy conditions, somewhat cooler temperatures, but unfortunately, no chance of precipitation. Next week looks dry as well, with a bit of a warming trend, as you would expect, because we are moving into the month of May. How warm will it get? How long will it last? What about some rain chances? Do we have any hope of seeing any more precipitation throughout this forecast period? We'll talk about that and everything else as we dive on in. But before we do that, hey, it's Friday. That means it's Photo Friday here. That's where we take a look at some of the photos and or videos that you guys have submitted. First up, David Parnell, Washington High School was the place. Last Saturday was the time. Temperatures in the mid-70s, and it's high school baseball. We love to see that. Everyone getting out and enjoying those sports outdoors while we still can, while the temperatures are still reasonably pleasant. This weekend should be nice as well. And those high school sports are going to be wrapping up here pretty soon, but we sure do appreciate David getting out there and taking all those pictures for us each and every week. A great view across not only the valley, but he gets around the state sometimes too. Clayton, this is actually from a little while ago. This is from a couple weeks ago. We had some rain in Scottsdale. Good to see some rain coming down, and it's probably going to be a while before we see any more of that. This is from David Nielsen up there in Payson on the 87, and then up at the trailhead up there near Payson, and yeah, looked like a gorgeous time to be out there and enjoying northern Arizona. Again, before the weather gets unpleasant. And, of course, you have to be aware up there because conditions are very dry, and we will probably have a pretty bad wildfire season across the high country of Arizona. It's already bad. Conditions are extremely dry, but probably only going to worsen over the next couple of months before the monsoon season. All right, this is a picture I took last Friday, about 5:30. Out in the West Valley looking north, and you can see those fluffy clouds, those cumulus. Michelle, this is a great picture. She'll love this. But yes, the clouds are gathering, and showers and thunderstorms came in shortly after I took this picture. About an hour and a half later, we got some wind, some rain out here at Studio B. So there you go. And then here's another picture of Freya. Freya, our cat, she's asleep on the dog bed. She took over downstairs this morning, and after a lot of playing all through the night and into the morning hours, well, eventually even a cat needs a rest. So there she is. All right. And then some more pictures. These are from Miles Sampson. He was out in Death Valley. We showed you a bunch of those pictures last week. More pictures this week. The desert is beautiful. Of course, Miles Sampson says the same thing. He loves checking out the desert, and we always love showing those pictures from around Death Valley National Park, and all throughout the Southwest and anywhere around the world. We've had international pictures as well, and that's why we do this each and every week. Photo Friday. Sure do appreciate all of your contributions. If you want to get in on it, groffshow@gmail.com is that email address. It's groffshow@gmail.com for Photo Friday. Okay, let's get to it. The almanac from yesterday, 92 degrees, the afternoon high. 65 was that morning low. 87 and 63 are the averages for this time of year. And as we take a look outside right now at 9:25 a.m., sunny sky across the valley. We're sitting at 79 degrees at Sky Harbor, dew points 34, humidity 20%. It's a light wind, and the barometer is steady. Satellite picture out here across the west. High clouds are passing mainly to the north of Arizona. There's a trough developing along the west coast, and that system will dig south and pass across the region over the weekend. Now, this far south, not really going to have any moisture associated with it, but the change in those upper heights, the change in temperature will bring about some gusty winds, particularly across the Mojave Desert, northern Arizona, but even here in the valley. We could maybe see some wind gusts 20, 25 miles per hour tomorrow. And maybe even some breezes on Sunday as that passes on by. And another day of strong storms across parts of Texas and especially Oklahoma, Kansas yesterday. And we might see those again today, as we'll show you here in just a moment. The watch warning map, some red flag warnings off to the east. High fire danger remains a big problem, as mentioned before, out here in the west. It will remain so for the foreseeable future. Got some scattered wind advisories out here, but right now, as of the time I'm recording this, no high impact events. Again, later today, you got that standard slight risk of severe storms. That's level 2 out of 5 for parts of West Texas and some of the adjacent areas. Thunder possible north of Arizona today, but around here, again, things are quiet. And you can see that on the precipitation outlook. This is valid through Friday morning of next week. Rain amounts in Phoenix, nothing. Statewide, basically nothing. Region-wide, not much. And we are in the dry season. You know the deal. Sometimes, I know this is the part of the video that gets very repetitive day after day after day, but we have new viewers sometimes, and we are in the dry season. And true to form, the main storm track will stay to the north of us for a while, so we don't expect any rainfall around here. We'll let you know if that changes, and it could. There's always a possibility of that. We'll let you know what's going on with this weather pattern in more detail. To do that, we take a look at the models, see what the future may hold. Here we go. This is the GFS, the 06Z run at 2 o'clock this afternoon. There's that upper low off the west coast, and that's going to be our weather maker for this weekend, bringing about cooler temperatures. But in the meantime, for today down at the surface, sunny sky and another warm one, highs upper 80s and low 90s. That's not terribly out of bounds for this time of year. 89 to 93 for the high. Not record-breaking, but just a few degrees above those seasonal averages. Now for tonight, clear sky, lows mid-50s to mid-60s. Tomorrow, sunny, not quite as warm, and it will be breezy too. We'll see those southwesterly winds picking up by the afternoon, gusting maybe to 20, 25 miles per hour in Phoenix, but be aware northern Arizona could see somewhat stronger winds. Right now, no wind advisories posted, but do keep in mind that if you're up on I-40 or some of those roadways across northern Arizona in a high-profile vehicle, you may want to just take a little extra precaution. Could see some gusty winds or rapidly changing winds up there, especially as you get into the Northwest Plateau and over toward the Mojave Desert with that weather system. Otherwise, things look pretty quiet for tomorrow with temperatures, again, a little cooler, mid-80s. Let's go to Sunday. This is likely the coolest day of the forecast period. That system is passing by. Cool air advection in here. High temperatures mid-70s to about 80 degrees. So we're looking at temperatures several degrees below seasonal averages, 8 to 12 degrees below where they ought to be for this time of year on Sunday. Then Sunday night, Monday morning, hey, open up the doors and windows. Should be nice. Lows may get down in the upper 40s in the coolest locations, 50s for the rest of us. The day on Monday looks sunny, with high temperatures topping out, I'd say upper 70s to mid-80s across the southern deserts, and we'll continue to warm it up as we go into next week. Now, there's a little bit of forecast uncertainty, the devil in the details. We may see an upper low or two that gets kind of stuck here somewhere over the southwest. Probably doesn't amount to much of anything of consequence, but there could be some clouds and breezes at times. But for the most part, we're going to keep the forecast mostly sunny and dry, at least here in Phoenix, with high temperatures warming up a bit, back toward the mid and upper 80s on Tuesday, maybe around 90 by Wednesday, and could see low 90s on Thursday, maybe even a little bit warmer than that. Could even see mid 90s if some of our guidance pans out as advertised. But otherwise, next week does look dry with a warming trend. All right, let's keep it going. This is a week from today, Friday, the 2nd of May. And high pressure is building in here across the west. And again, there could be a weak wave or some sort of upper low around the southwest. It doesn't really amount to much of anything because there's just no moisture around here. About all it would do is keep temperatures a degree or 3 lower than they otherwise would be. High temperatures slightly above average, but nothing crazy. I'd say highs 90 to 95. Overnight lows mainly in the 60s for us. Let's just keep it going out 10 days. This is Sunday, the 4th of May. And you can see that area of high pressure is still out here across the west. We're dry and we are warm. However, let's just take a different view for a second here. This is the European. At the same time, well, this is technically 5 a.m. on Sunday, the 4th of May, but it's got an upper low parked right over top of us. And if that verifies, would it result in precipitation? Maybe. There's an outside chance of that, but it would certainly be much cooler around here. You take the difference between the GFS and the European deterministic model, and you're talking about maybe 15, 20 degrees difference in high temperatures, and maybe an outside shot at precipitation too. So obviously there's forecast uncertainty, but you expect that out at 10 days. And the European has been somewhat consistent in advertising a solution kind of wacky like that. So we'll keep an eye on those model trends. There's certainly a percentage of our model guidance that does hint at somewhat more unsettled conditions out there by sometime next weekend. All right, looking at rainfall for Phoenix off the GFS ensemble, this doesn't look very promising at all, now does it? And this is about what you would typically see this time of year. Almost no precipitation, the ensemble mean, just a couple hundredths of an inch. European ensemble, there's some scattering of members that do indicate some precipitation out there by about 10 days and beyond. But again, at this point, we're not really going to hang our hats on that. We'll watch for it, though. The CPC outlook, which I'll show you here in just a moment, is certainly trending that way. These are temperatures off the national blend of models. Again, a warm day today, cooler tomorrow, cooler Sunday, and then we'll warm it up next week, and highs will be a few degrees above where they ought to be for this time of year. But again, nothing earth-shattering, nothing record-breaking, nothing excessive. This is early May is now we're headed into in Phoenix, and so high temperatures in the lower mid-90s. Yeah, that's not that crazy for this time of year. All right, let's check it out. Here's the CPC Outlook Climate Prediction Center. This is for the period of May 2nd through the 8th. Temperatures, probability is still slated at above average temperatures out here through most of the West. And that includes us here in Arizona and Phoenix in particular. But look at this. Precipitation probability is skewed toward above average precipitation, particularly across eastern Arizona and New Mexico. But even here in Phoenix, a slight edge is given in the probability toward above average precipitation. Does that mean above average precipitation will occur? Well, still, probably not. There's a 40% chance that we have above average precipitation during this period. What does that mean? Well, in early May, above average precipitation during this time period of May 2nd to the 8th is what? A couple hundredths of an inch of rain? But hey, we'll take a couple hundredths of an inch. We'll take any kind of precipitation we can get this time of year. Let's hope that pans out. All right, at any rate, that's going to do it for the Phoenix, Arizona weather discussion for today. My next video is due back here on Monday morning, but of course, updates before that if necessary. Should you happen to enjoy these videos, and of course you do, be sure to subscribe, like, share, click that notification bell, leave those comments, questions, and suggestions. If you really enjoy what we're doing here, then be sure to click that thanks icon below the video here on YouTube, make those monetary contributions to us, or even better than that, if you help us out on PayPal. groffshow@gmail.com is our PayPal address. It's groffshow@gmail.com. Please help us out. Please help support the channel. Really makes it a lot easier for us and helps us to produce even more of these videos. And I assure you, we are going to keep these things going. But your help really streamlines that. Of course, the executive producer of the Phoenix, Arizona weather discussion is my OAO, the sweetest of all time, the Asian sensation and proprietor of that site right there, at least that banner, sweetchildaz.com.org, and the Facebook page of the same name called Sweet Child Arizona. I'm talking about my Michelle. Check her out. Her blogs, videos, everything Michelle related. It's all linked up down in the description. Yeah, there could be some Adriana related stuff there. In fact, by volume, there's probably actually a lot more Adriana-related things than Michelle-related, especially on her YouTube channel. But still, check it all out. Go ahead and leave your feedback about all that. Plus, our streaming station available 24/7, 365. What does it do? What is it called? It's KMGX. We play a ton of music, have a lot of fun with that. So do give that a look and listen. Please, please, pretty please, with a cherry on top. All right. Thank you so much for watching. All of your continued support, so greatly appreciated. Please be safe, stay cool, stay hydrated out there, and you guys have yourselves a great Friday and a wonderful weekend.